how do you assess what the Jets have done thus far? I think fans have been less than enthusiastic, to say the least, underwhelmed by the regime's first free agent approach in the offseason. For once, the Jets are not the offseason champs, like I said. Muji and Glenn have taken a very conservative approach. They're buying, it seems like, on the upside of unproven young guys who can still enter their prime and maybe get them to their full potential. That's what it feels like on some of these free agent moves. But I'll start there, Kaz. How do you feel about this Jets approach in free agency?
Okay-ish. Like I get it. I get what they're trying to do. It's 24 to 28-year-olds, like you said. To me, right, there's like three different categories of free agency. There's the big ticket, first day, big money free agents. There's the middle class, which is sort of, you can do like 3-year deals and they're getting kind of mid-range money. And then there's the bargain bin, which is your 1-year deals. I thought they'd be more active in the middle class area. That's kind of my only surprise here. I did not think they'd be big ticket shoppers. I guess you could throw Fields in that category. Quarterback, still a good deal for a quarterback. Brandon Stevens is really the only contract I look at that's maybe in the middle class, right? 3 years for him at $12 million a year. But the rest of them are bargain bin to me. And that can work, but you better nail the draft. And so, like, this is, I really like watching how the Ravens operate. I think they're like a model front office. And this is the Ravens. They draft, develop, let guys leave, get comp picks, because the theory is the more picks they have, the better they'll do. So, but the Ravens draft better than anybody. And that's the key to the whole thing. And we don't know, with Muji how he's going to draft, and it's you may have heard it's difficult. Drafting is hard. There's not many teams that draft really well consistently every year. And then the second piece I would give to this approach, Rye, is like if you're going to do this, you got to stick with it. They
Mm.
can't just abandon this if this season doesn't go well, and then next year go back into like, hey, we're going to give $100 million to this guard that somebody let go, like that kind of stuff. Like just this has to be the approach because I feel like we've seen this before. There's like this narrative out there like, oh, the Jets have no, the Jets have been cheap before in free agency. They've tried. Douglas tried to do this in 2020, and then they went 2-14, and it was like he didn't. Um, outside of like 2015 and then 2019, the last year was a little bit weirder. It was like 1-year deals for older guys, but they've been years where they haven't spent a ton. But the pendulum seems to always swing with the Jets.
Yeah.
It's like 1 year they're not spending, and the next year they're spending a lot, and they just this is going to be your philosophy. Stick with your philosophy is what I'd say. But the drafting, they're going to have to draft a lot of good players because there's a lot of holes on this roster right now.